parasites and bad bacteria releases a chemical in your brain, which I think is just so messed up, that convinces you that you want bad foods. Hey, so in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I healed my leaky gut. So if you struggle with extra fat in your midsection, if you have eczema, if you have autoimmune disorders like MS, or if you are feeling fatigued, or if you have hormonal imbalances, depression, things like that, then today's video is going to be for you, so stay tuned. It's coming up next. All right, guys, so if you are not new here, you already know my backstory. But if you are new here, I just want to share with you guys how I ended up figuring out that I had bacterial overgrowth and just complete gut dysbiosis. So my symptoms were I was very lethargic. I felt fatigued all the time. I was carrying a lot of fat in my midsection that I just could not get rid of. I also had eczema, my skin was really bad, my hair was thinning. And so I took myself and my son to a functional doctor because my son also had very unexplainable symptoms. And it turns out after doing a Genova stool study that we both had bacterial infections as well as parasites, which is so common, but it's just not spoken of because I was taking us to mainstream doctors, but every time they did blood work and labs, everything just kept coming back normal. But I decided to take us to a functional and integrative doctor. And with that, they do more research as to what is the root of the problem. And that's when I learned that I had some serious gut issues as well as my son's. Okay, so let me tell you some telltale signs that you have a leaky gut or if you have gut dysbiosis. So if you're always craving sugar, if, like I said, you're carrying a lot of extra flap in your midsection, if you're fatigued, you have some type of hormonal imbalance, arthritis, autoimmune disorders, Crohn's disease, anything like that, then 9 times out of 10, you have gut dysbiosis, especially with children with ADD, ADHD, as well as autism. A lot of symptoms, especially with autism, stem from the gut because what happens, we all have a gut lining kind of shaped like this. This is our gut and then our gut wall, and then we have a protective shield around it. When there is dysbiosis in the gut, meaning if you have more bad bacteria in your gut than good bacteria in your gut, what happens is the bad bacteria makes that gut lining, the mucus lining that is supposed to protect your gut wall, it makes it permeable and it creates holes in that wall. And then that is what's considered the leaky gut. When you have a leaky gut, foods that are entering your body, it's not fully digested. It's going into your body, but then extra food particles are being carried over into your bloodstream, and that's what's causing your symptoms. Because food particles should not be in your bloodstream, because what's going to happen is your immune system is going to see it as invaders and your body's going to start attacking itself. That's where the term autoimmune comes from. All right, so let's touch on bacteria really quickly, because whenever I say this, I feel like people just think, oh, it's just all bad. But it's not. You have good bacteria in your gut, which is called friendly bacteria, and you also have bad bacteria in your gut, which is called pathogenic bacteria. But it's supposed to live together synergistically, but you're supposed to have more good bacteria in your gut than bad bacteria in your gut. When you have an overgrowth of the pathogenic bacteria in your gut, that is what causes all of the symptoms. That's actually, like I told you guys in my last video, parasites and bad bacteria releases a chemical in your brain, which I think is just so messed up, that convinces you that you want bad foods, lots of sugars, sugar-forming foods like pastas, breads, and you're just always hungry because that is what they eat, that's how they live, that's how they thrive. In a healthy body, the cravings aren't that intense. When I was first going through this, I was so hungry all the time. And the reason why is because of one, which I just told you, because of the chemicals that they release to make you think you're hungry. And two, I had a leaky gut. So if I'm not getting all of the foods digested into my body, that means that I am not absorbing all of the nutrients. So I'm constantly hungry. Just think about it like if you had a night out with the girls or a night out with the guys and you did a lot of drinking. The next day you feel sluggish, you feel tired, hungover, and starving. You eat way more than you would typically eat, and that is because when you drink alcohol, it depletes your body of nutrients. And that's exactly what happens when you have a leaky gut. Your body is not getting enough nutrients, so you're just hungry and fat. All right, so let me tell you how I fixed it for both me and my son. Step one, get a notepad and a pen. Eliminate sugars. We just discussed how bad bacteria strives and lives on sugars. You're gonna have to cut sugars, and you're gonna have to cut sugar-forming foods. This includes fruits with the exception of cranberry, because cranberry is cleansing to the body, as well as lemons and limes. They're considered bitters, which actually help to fight against bad bacteria. The next thing we're gonna do is we're going to start introducing probiotic-rich foods into your diet. Foods, not supplements, not powders, not pills, and not gummies. Foods, because when you take the supplement form of probiotics, it's not bad for you. It's actually really good for you if you're maintaining after you've already healed. But when you are trying to heal, you need something that's live and that's gonna get down and digested into your system so you can really reap the benefits from it. So you're gonna have things like sauerkraut, kimchi, beet kvass, preferably homemade. You can have coconut yogurts. I should make videos on how to make all of this stuff because I've made so many fermented vegetable medleys and probiotic rich foods for my son and for myself. So let me know in the comment section if I should do that. But I'll also leave in the description box where you can purchase brands that I trust and have used that are actually fermented with live probiotics. So we're gonna make sure we flood our bodies with good bacteria so it can fight off the bad bacteria. Step 3 is you wanna make sure you are supporting your immune system, because what's gonna happen is with all of the bad bacteria dying off, there is actually a term coined die off that makes you feel lethargic and it makes you feel exhausted. You may feel almost ill because you're literally killing off bad bacteria, and when you do that, they do release toxins. The way that I do that, so I boost my immune system as well as attack the bad bacteria at the same time with a drink called fire cider. I have so many fire ciders because I did a video on how to make fire cider and you guys wanted me to make them for you. So I'm actually making them and sending them to you guys. It takes 6 weeks to ferment, but I'll leave a link in the description box on how to make it, as well as how to get it if you want me to make it for you. But make sure you are supporting your immune system. Excuse me. Now steps 1, 2, and 3 that I just went over with you guys, you are gonna see a world of difference right off the bat, okay? Your hair is gonna be shinier, your skin is gonna be clearer, you're gonna have lots more energy. Fat, what fat where, okay? You're gonna see your midsection completely slimming down, bloating, things like that. It's just gonna be a world of difference, right? It's gonna feel amazing. However, if you have a leaky gut, what are we gonna do about all those holes? We've got to heal and seal the leaky gut. So the next step is we have to seal the holes that were made in our gut. And this is the part that is not, I'm not gonna say that it's hard, but it does take time, in which each person is different. That's why I always suggest get yourself a food intolerance test first, because a good way to tell, a great indicator to know if your gut is sealed and healed, you won't have any intolerances, babe. So the way to do that is through bone broths. Not commercial bone broths, not bouillons that you add to your soup from the store. They are full of detrimental chemicals. You want to make this at home. You can do this with, I always do mine with chicken. I think one time I did it with like fish, but I didn't love it. But it's delicious, and it's packed full of all of the vitamins, nutrients, amino acids that the body needs in order to really heal and seal that gut. All right, so let's get into this bone broth. This is gonna be your saving grace for your gut, okay? It is packed full of glucosamine, proline, glycine, all of the amino acids, as well as collagen. Collagen is really gonna support with healing that gut. And a lot of people are taking collagen like peptides or putting it on their face or taking the powders, which there's nothing wrong with it. But drink it, eat it. Your skin is gonna look beautiful. Your hair is gonna look full and shiny. It's going to repair and soothe your gut. It's anti-inflammatory, and this is how you make it. So, like I told you guys, I use chicken. You just take a whole chicken. Make sure that it is organic chicken and it is pasture raised, okay? You can go to a butcher and you can get this. I get mine from Whole Foods. I'll show you guys a picture of it. I'll insert it somewhere during this chat. But make sure it is grass-fed, pasture-raised, and organic. And then what you do is you take all of the parts, you cut it up of a whole chicken, put it in a pot of water, and I'll leave all these instructions in the description box as well. And you bring it to a boil. Make sure to put parsley in it because parsley is so rich in nutrients. As soon as it starts boiling, you bring it down to a simmer and you let it cook on simmer for at least 12 hours. I do mine for 21 hours, but I felt like if I told you guys 21 hours, you're probably just gonna click off this video.
I don't know if I can do that.
It is worth it, especially if you're a mommy or a daddy and you have a child with autism. Miracle, miracle. Do not try to go and pick this up from the store. Again, I repeat, I can't express the importance of making this yourself. It's just not the same. After you make it, after it's done, after your 12 or 21 hours, 21, okay? You wanna make sure you have a bowl of this with each meal. You wanna put a raw egg yolk in it because that is gonna give you your vitamin A, your vitamin K, which also support healing the gut lining. And then what you wanna do is once it cools, do not do this while it is hot or you will cook your egg, okay? You wanna make sure it is room temperature before you eat it. And then also make sure it's room temperature because what we're gonna do is we're gonna add like a sauerkraut juice, which is a probiotic. And that is gonna be a powerhouse to heal your leaky gut, okay? It doesn't have to be sauerkraut juice. It could be juice from beet kvass. It could be a dollop of coconut yogurt, just a probiotic, because it's going to be like a triple whammy in healing and it's going to speed up that process. Now, I know a lot of you are going to ask me, well, how long do I need to do this? It just depends on how you heal. For my son, because he had so many autistic symptoms, I always call them autistic symptoms because autism is not supposed to be curable. I don't want to talk on it too much, but I am going to do a video for mommies and daddies who have children with autism about this. But my son had autistic symptoms to the point where he didn't even know who he was. I would say, "Good night, Jackson," and he would say, "Good night, Jackson." He didn't even know he had an identity. It is a miracle, okay? I'm so happy that I came across this and that I can share it with you guys. But leave it in the comment section if you guys want me to make a full video on this in regards to autism and things like that, ADD, learning or developmental issues, because it all ties into the gut. It really just truly does. But anyway, you want to make sure you're having a bowl of this with every meal. And you want to do this until, that's why I say a food intolerance test would be a good marker, until your food intolerance test tells you you're not intolerant to anything. I'm not intolerant to anything, and my son is not intolerant to anything. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave the comment section below. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.